Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jamal Bryant Podcast. Let's be clear. I need you to find a loose leaf notebook, a number 2 pencil, a ruler, some glue, and a rolling ball pen. Class is in session. One of the foremost coaches for development post-pandemic is my sister and friend, Dr. Sonia.
Thank you so much for having me. You said pen, glue, ruler, all of that. I was like, let me go get all of that stuff ready right now. I'm excited to be here. So thank you for having me.
No, absolutely. You are really the principal of continued education to really help people get on path for, quite frankly, what college doesn't teach.
Ooh.
And embarrassingly, what parents are not teaching. And regrettably, what churches are not teaching. And how it is that you move forward. You don't know this, but I watch you in your basement.
I was sitting here thinking, like, wait a minute. He didn't ask me any questions about anything. Somebody did some research.
Oh, no,
I appreciate that.
No. I see you. I am energized and enthused by what it is that you do and how it is that you do it. I want to go backwards because a lot of people looking at you as a supermodel don't know that you're a veteran.
21 years.
21 years.
3 combat tours, all of that.
I couldn't make it through ROTC. No, there's no way in the world.
Right.
If you asked me to give you 20, you'd have to give me some lemon pepper wings at the end of it for me to get through it. But how do you make that transition from a military mind? It's almost like a returning citizen coming out of jail. That you got to move out of that regiment
Exactly.
of somebody tell you when to get up, when you going to eat, to go run, when you got to go to bed. But how did that discipline really
I'll be honest,
shape?
it was very trying. It took me through a transition where the military doesn't prepare you for. I went through a suicidal period because you're talking about 21 years, someone telling you when to wake up, when to go to sleep,
Yes.
when you can take vacation, when you can spend time with your family,
Wow.
when you go to lunch, when you eat breakfast, all of that to, you got to figure this out for yourself. You're talking about a routine and a regiment for 21 years.
Wow.
And I'm talking about on call 7 days a week,
Yes.
24 hours a day to, man, what am I going to do with myself? So I went through a period I had to deal with who I was and who I was to become.
Yes.
Whether I was going to work in government
Yeah.
or if I was going to start my own business, which didn't really think about it that way. I didn't know what that was,
Right.
but I quickly figured it out.
Clearly.
Yes.
Yeah. I was at a movie screening. A movie is coming out at the end of the summer called The Forge with Priscilla Shirer. And I cried through the film because the movie was about making disciples, not making members. And it had one line that really threw me off is discipleship is rooted in discipline. And the church does not teach discipline. It teaches membership.
Yes.
I want you to talk about the discipline to be a disciple in anything. Jesus preached to 5,000, but only could make 12 of them discipline.
And they all had a background.
And they all had a background. So I want you to talk to us how you make disciplined soldiers out of civilians.
But first off, you said a mouthful. I've never been stumped for words until that. And just really thinking about discipline, I believe, is something that we're not necessarily born with. Yes. Some people try or attempt. Our parents attempt to teach it to us. Yeah. Teachers attempt to do it. Even our coaches on, the sports teams and things like that. But what I realized, especially when I got the opportunity and the blessing to do what I do for women, that was a number 1 rule. Like, hey, you can come over here because I don't train ballerinas. Yeah. I don't train princesses. I only train warriors, meaning there's a discipline that comes along with this. You're talking about building 6- and 7-figure businesses.
Yes.
It took me 3 years to get to $28 million. It wasn't because just military and the discipline in itself. Right. It was just simply understanding I had to have a routine. Yes. I had to be disciplined enough even when I'm tired, to do a thing.
Listen, before we talk about money and business and scale and all of that,
yes,
I want to go backwards.
Okay.
I'm going to go all the way backwards.
Okay.
Because I've snuck in on your classes. I need to know, how do you get the discipline? I need you all to zoom this camera in. How do you get the discipline in your diet?
Diet?
Yes.
Like food?
Yes.
I don't have it.
Dude, then tell me what gene pool you got,
Okay.
because you look amazing.
Okay, at 53 years old,
Yes.
right? It is hereditary genetics from my mother,
Adopt me.
for sure.
Yes.
The second thing
Give me a blood
is-
transfusion,
Listen,
whatever's in
when
you.
people say this all the time, they always like, well, how do you stay so small? Do you work out?
Yes.
I don't.
You do not.
I don't. I haven't since I really retired. I can give you how many times, I can count on both of my hands, how many times I've worked out since I've been retired, since 2014.
Wow.
That's a blessing in itself.
Wow.
I look great on the outside, but there's some physical stuff. I can still do some push-ups,
Yeah.
pull-ups, and run a little
Yeah.
bit. Back surgery, knee surgery, all
Right.
of that. But this is by the grace of God.
Listen, then I feel cursed. I'm cursed with a curse.
No, you are not.
I got to get up and walk 4 miles every day.
It is, but there's certain things I can't eat, though.
Like
So,
what?
ice cream, unless it's from Sonic. I don't know what it is that they make. It doesn't upset my stomach. And I know somebody's watching this and saying, oh, yeah. Certain things, I don't like a lot of sweets.
Yeah,
Um,
that's my thing.
yeah, I'm not.
I don't know. If I don't have sugar in a day, I'm going to have a reverse diabetic seizure.
I will.
I got to have sugar.
No. Monk fruit.
What is that?
Monk fruit is a replacement for sugar. So I put that in my coffee. I just started drinking coffee a year ago. You won't even know.
I will.
I promise you.
I will know.
I like sugar, but not.
No, I don't talk about I'm adding sugar on the stuff. I'm saying I want something sweet at the end of my meal.
Look, so
Desserts around me.
no, none of that.
Wow.
I just don't.
Okay. Walk me through the discipline
Yes.
of a day. Everybody's got the same amount of hours in a day. It's what you do with it in those hours. How do you find the discipline with the demands of life?
Yes. First thing I do, if I can just walk you through, can I paste this?
Yes.
My eyes open in the morning, and my husband laughs about it now. He said, do you wake up like this? I do. I wake up like, let's go, let's get it.
Right.
I'm smiling like, wait, give me a minute. Just kind of bring it down. I wake up that way. But the first thought and the words that come out of my mouth, Lord, send me the people that I need to serve today before my feet hit the ground.
Yeah.
Once they hit the ground, I'm into the bathroom. I'm taking a shower. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm taking the pins out of these pin curls. I get fully dressed
Yeah.
because either I have a meeting or just putting clothes on because I
Start
work
you
from
on.
home.
Yeah.
Starts my day off right. At 9 o'clock, by 10, I'm probably on 1 or 2 meetings. I'm talking to my team. I'm talking to my team that's international. I'm working with the other third-party agencies. I'm on somebody's TV, somebody's interview, or I'm about to catch a private flight, or a flight somewhere. And so it's a full day. One of the biggest things that I added to my tool belt as a civilian, if I can say,
Yeah.
I have a scheduler from everything to date night.
Yeah.
When the kids are getting married, I got 2 sons getting married back to back. And I'm like, in between, I'm trying to make sure my schedule is tight so I'm not traveling somewhere doing business and that I'm there for my children. Date night, when the dogs go to the vet, when my team is taking time off, I'm tracking all of that. And I'll be honest, I don't have a big team. And so my day of being disciplined is I'm not moving anything unless it's an emergency.
Yes.
If I say I'm going to do something, I just want to die on the sword with my word, making sure I show up. I try my very best not to get double booked. My team is looking at it. And so this is the discipline that is needed for a business at any sort or even for your life. But I got to add something in there. It's not just that discipline, making sure you have the right partner. Because I know anybody else would be like, whoa, you got too much going on. I don't know what you doing. He's like, okay, he understands.
Yeah.
And I'm appreciative of that. God knew who to send me.
Oh, yeah.
He did.
Yeah. No, that's a blessing. What you don't say no to, you saying yes to.
Elaborate.
How
Oh,
hard
I say
is
no.
it?
Oh, no, I say no.
But how hard is it for you to do it?
It's not at all. If it doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
when you get into a certain, I would say, place and status, everybody's pulling at you.
Yeah.
From the people who know and love you that have at events, or to friends at church, or to girlfriends that are having events.
Yeah.
No is a full sentence. And at this age and space in my life, I can't do all of that. I want to, but I'm very honest and open with people. And it's the hard conversation. Now, there's another level of discipline.
Right.
The hard conversations that most people avoid, I take them head on, because if I don't, they're going to be in the back, in the wing, and they're going to come up and somebody say, well, you said you're going to do a lot. No. I'm either send you an email or I'm going to pick up the phone. You're going to get a voice note, say, hey, I can't do this and this is why. And it's not that I'm bigger or better than anyone. I don't have the capacity to do certain things. And it was hard at the beginning.
Yes.
JB, it was hard. Yeah. But now I'm okay. And most time people don't ask anymore. She's probably going to say no. And when they come, they have everything laid out for me to say yes. It has to be a no-brainer for me.
I came up with something years ago when I was in Baltimore called the curse of compassion.
Talk about this.
Your heart can be a liability.
Yeah.
And one of the hard things of being naturally compassionate that I want you to talk about is how to do business and stop doing favors. Yeah, yes.
That is something our culture, I believe, is very challenged with. I see and hear the hookups, and I get asked for the hookups.
Yes.
And then before I knew a thing, I thought it was a thing you do.
Right.
You know, if you can't afford it, just say, hey, I'll do this, or the hookup and the favors and all of that. But what I quickly realized when I really started to be a company owner,
yes,
I couldn't do it that way. Right? I have this thing that I say, family and friends get invoices too.
Yes.
Because it allows me to show up differently as a person of being who I am and who God has called me to be.
Yeah.
And it allows them to show up differently too. Because sometimes when you give a hookup, sometimes people just, I changed my mind. I don't need it anymore. It was a hookup. It was free. Or it was a complimentary for them. And so they don't really show up for that. And so getting to that space and place and understanding, it's okay to say no.
Yes.
And then sitting down and explaining. I am in this place of explaining. And it's hard to explain to people and share, because sometimes they turn that off when you say no. They're not trying to understand why. But I remember when Oprah's team told me no. I remember that.
Tell me.
You want to know what
Yes,
happened?
I want to know.
I was having this event a few years ago, and the company that I was working with had a direct contact to her team. And we sent an email, and they responded. I was like, whoa, they're responding. And they politely said no in such a way that I understood. And what I got out of the email is just, no, not right now. And this is what I took away from it. The way she explained it was, one, you're not big enough yet. She didn't say this, but
yes.
I'm understanding of where I am.
Right.
It's like, okay, get your weight up, pretty much.
Yeah.
No, they didn't say this outright, but I had to sit back and look. One, you were bold enough to go and say, hey, I want her. So first off, they're thinking, well, can she afford to bring her in? And the answer was yes. I was prepared for that invoice.
Right.
But then I started thinking about, it's not just the money for her. She wants to make sure she's in the right room with the right people, with the right brand. And so my brand wasn't big enough then for her to say, okay, this is a no-brainer. You go to social media, it's not 1 million followers or whatever yet.
Right.
But I haven't made at that point, I haven't made my footprints were in the sand yet.
Yes.
They saw my tippy toes coming through, but they didn't see a full print. I also learned at that point where I understand like attracts like. Can I explain that one?
Please, I'm begging you.
In this space right now, when you go into certain rooms, sometimes depending on if the leader is someone that is of Caucasian persuasion, you're probably going to see more of like attracts like that look like him. Right. If there's someone that is African American, more than likely, I'm talking about in the industry that I operate in, you're more than likely going to see people who look like you. I was working with someone at the time that was Asian. And I went in there, I was the only person of color in that room of probably about 50 to 60 people. That's when I understood like attracts like. It's not the simple fact that one is better than the other.
Yes.
Your people go after your same kind per se. So when I came back over, it was the same thought when the email came through. It wasn't that I was a woman of color. It wasn't just that. I hadn't arrived per se yet.
Yes.
And I understood, and I respected. My feelings were hurt. But I said, let me go get my weight up.
Yeah.
I'm coming. And this time it won't be me asking. It will be someone from her team saying, hey, we would like to have you on this. That's the thought that I'm having in my mind. So it's not me thinking highly of myself, but I'm putting in the work to make sure like attracts like. And next time I approach something like this, it'll be someone of her caliber is thinking, yeah, we got to have her in this space.
No, I love it. One of my mentors said something to me that's really riveted me. He said, Black people make the mistake of assuming for business, you only, catch this, pursue your passion. Your passion is for your hobby. You got to find what is going to make an economic difference. And so a lot of us, even as parents, we push our children, do what it is that you like. Find what it is that you're drawn to, not what's good for the marketplace, not what the area needs. How do we find that difficult Cirque du Soleil balancing act?
You talking my language now. Wait a minute.
Of walking through is not necessarily what my passion is. Denzel said in the movie, do what you got to do until you can do what you want to do.
Exactly.
How am I able to get up in the morning and do what I'm not driven by?
I see it like this, and I just want to add to what you were saying. Your passion is for you. Your purpose is for other people. Those are two different entities, two different areas.
Yeah.
Wake up, it's like my passion is to serve other people. Baby, you got bills to pay.
You're right.
You got kids in college. You got to eat. I'm still talking about
Preach,
my
Lord. Yes.
I still got a passion.
Yes.
Well, what's the purpose, though? So as soon as you understand, it's really looking at the passion that you have in your heart, in your spirit, in your soul. How can you create a purpose from it? And it's not just waiting on purpose to fall out of the sky. I keep hearing, I'm looking for my purpose. Where is it? No. How about we create a purpose? But you have to understand what your calling is in your life. I had no idea, if I may, had no idea that I was called to do this.
Yeah.
My passion was at one point, I want to serve other people. I'd been through a divorce. I want to become a divorce coach because I didn't want another woman to go through this. It was my passion.
You're right.
But do it. What? Man, you got bills to pay. You're a single mom now.
Yes.
And I said, okay, let me take a step back. Lord, what is it that you would have me do? Because the vow when I was on my suicide couch was, if you're going to let me live, don't let me live like this. So if you, and I'm negotiating with him.
Yes.
If you would take me out of this, I would serve you with every part of my being. And I remember getting up off that floor in tears. Thank God I didn't wear lashes back then. They would be everywhere. And I remember it's like the dead skin began to fall off because it was no longer about a passion of just helping people. Don't get it twisted. I still have a passion for this.
Yes.
But I figured out how to take that passion plus my purpose to get to some profits.
I'm for it.
Is that enough flip for you right there? That's it right there. That's it.
Einstein equation. 86% of billionaires are married. I want you to talk about how important your relationships
Did you just call me a billionaire?
Yes, it takes one to know one. I'm in it with you. Absolutely. How important, and I don't think without people minimizing it, that your marriage selection is a business decision. And when you say that to uninformed ears, they think that there's no intimacy to it. There's no faith in it. But I want you to talk about how important it is that who you connect with speaks to your revenue, your income, and where you go.
I'm getting teary-eyed.
Yeah, listen.
This right here.
Cry me a river. I'm walking with you.
Hold up.
Yes.
I can remember being married for 18 years. And I think through it now before, there is no way I could have still been married to that person. Nothing against him at that, but that was the old version of me.
Yes.
To the future version of me couldn't have been married to that person and do what I do now.
Yeah.
When the prayer was, Lord, send me the person who can not just take me around the world, around the corner, but around the world.
Yes.
Wasn't like put me on a plane, buy me a ticket and all of that. But he would allow my mind to travel to those places without wanting me to dummy down.
Yes.
Or like you're doing too much. Why you got to be in the public eye? Why you got to be on TV? Why you have to do that? And so when the time came for me to date, it's like this whole wisdom just downloaded from the heavens. You can't date because he fine, he got a six-pack, and he got this going on, and he can buy you this. I said, but can he nurture my mind and my heart? Because now I'm being called to the nations of women and some smart men out there, if I can say, to help them build their businesses and do life and have a lifestyle. Can someone come in and be okay with me doing this? Maybe I'm up late at night. Maybe I'm going to bed early. Maybe I don't want to do anything. Maybe I don't want to leave the house. I got the house that I have so I can work from home. And if I don't have to leave, I don't have to, other than get my hair and my nails done.
Wow.
Or go do an interview. That's the reason I did that. But it was really preparing for the man that was going to come into my life that was okay with me being me. That was a challenge. And I went on some dates. Boy, I tell you, I kissed some frogs. What? Got some warts on my head, on the back of my neck.
Right.
And I said, I can't. And so the conversation, and if I can share what I asked my boyfriend, who I was too old to have a boyfriend, but anyway, what I asked him when we were dating, and I believe it was becoming serious. I said, hey, if there is an opportunity and I need to invest $100,000, is your expectation is for me to come and have a conversation with you, or just run, hey, talk about it, do whatever, or it's like, babe, I trust you, go ahead. And I didn't say that part. I'm thinking in my head.
Right.
He said, that's not my money. That's yours.
Wow. Wow.
That's not mine. That's yours. I've seen you work as hard as you do. And so you had this before I got here. I said, but what if it's in the same account? Sonia, I've seen you turn a quarter into $100,000. Why would I not trust what you're doing? Because he didn't know everything I was doing when we started dating.
Put that man's picture in the Smithsonian. I need you to know that's as rare as a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
I know. Trust me, I know. And I'm reminded all the time when I'm like, he's not doing that. Like, hold on, baby.
Yeah.
You're around a lot of women. A lot of times he's in the room. You're not concerned about that. You're not in a phone. You're not doing that. And that was, I have to be honest, at that age in my 50s, of late 40s, 50s, dating, that was a concern. Can I find someone who can be in the space with me and ain't worried about all this scattered running around now?
Yes.
That was a thought. That's a real conversation. And when he said that about that, I'm like, well, hold on. I didn't expect that. I thought it was, well, we need to talk about it. I haven't worked with more women now. I got to talk to my husband. But you had a job.
Right.
You have, and it's not trying to separate households. It's just helping women understand. We ask for support. We're not asking for permission.
We.
I'm just.
Say that one line again.
We are asking and asking our spouses to support us.
Yes.
We're not asking for permission.
That's two different things.
I had to learn that.
That's two different things. And I think part of the short gap of the trap is a generation, your son's generation, that both of them are getting married is kudos to you. Yes. And let me give you asterisk and extra credit. That for two sons, black males, to be getting married, listen to me, after witnessing divorce.
Yes.
But still believing in the institution of marriage says a whole lot about who you are as a mother and what you modeled to them to say that that is still doable, achievable, and reachable. And so for both of them to get married at the same time, high commendation to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's just a conversation. They always talked about being married at a young age. I'm talking about teenagers, about their wives. One of the biggest things why I stayed married the first time I'm on my encore marriage.
Yes.
The reason why I stayed because
I'm using that, by the way.
No
encore.
Problem.
That's great.
Encore marriage. Yes. Encore. And people have asked, encore. Yeah. It's a standing ovation to what happened. It doesn't mean it was bad. Yes. It just wasn't right for you.
Yes.
And I get a do-over. Not even a do-over, because I won't even count that, because things happen for you, not to you.
Yes.
It made me much wiser in marriage now, and not to look at certain things. But with them coming and saying, my middle son that played in the NFL is like, Mom, at 19, he's in college talking about marriage. Hey, sir, let's finish school year first. He was dating someone, their culture was to get married at a very young age. I said, at a minimum, finish, because what I don't want you to do is to be a black man depending on a woman.
Yes.
Unless you're at home and you all make a decision that you're going to be the caregiver or care for the children, per se. I understand the times are different. But old school is thinking like, nah, I'm the provider. I get it. Yeah. And and going back, Dr. Jamal, with the men that I was dating, let me go back to that for a second. The question I would get all the time, can you cook? What? Can you cook? Like, did he just ask me? I'm out here in the trenches helping women. You talking about?
I can order.
I can get a
Can't
chef.
nobody beat me ordering now.
I can get a chef.
Yes.
I can get us a chef.
Yes.
In the conversation, I got to say this. I said, when I get married, if my husband cooks, I will jump from the ceiling fan to the bed. That was the whole deal. In my mind, I didn't tell them up front yet.
Yes.
Do you know God sent me a chef who can cook and throw down?
No way.
Only time I cook is during the holidays because he's fighting, get out of my kitchen.
Wow.
He isn't one cooking. That was a conversation. You talking about abundance and manifestation. And I know for some people that's no big, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a very big deal.
Our generation grew up, who's in the kitchen?
Yeah.
We are. He's bringing home the bacon and I'm frying it in a pan and doing all that kind of stuff. I was like, nah. And having those reverse roles per se,
Yeah.
I was nervous about it
Yeah.
and how the world was going to see it. And I just got to a place, Lord, I know you sent him.
Right.
So whatever I need to do to protect our unity, I will.
30% of Black divorces, 30% of all divorces are Black people.
Yes.
16% are Latino. This is the largest amount of single Black women post-slavery. And so here's the disconnect nobody's talking about. The largest demographic of those who are single are educated, high-achieving Black women. And so I know you done found Chef Boyardee, but everybody else is at Cookout and Chick-fil-A drive-thru. I want you to say a word to Black women who are single and did, here it is, everything the church told them to do. They went and got degrees.
Mm-hmm.
They are walking every day. They drinking water.
Mm-hmm.
They done pull pork it out of their diet. They saving. They go to midweek Bible study. It's still not happening. And so I want you to talk about how to be successful and alone.
If I can revert back to, I remember those nights sitting in the bed crying and being on social media or looking around and you see somebody like, not even shit about a man.
Hey.
Like, what am I doing something wrong?
Yes.
And just sitting there and just in prayer and crying. I'm talking about rolling on the floor, on the bed, around the bed, like, I don't understand, what am I doing? And what I realized that we can or should be doing, if I can recommend anything, focus on minding your business. That's number one.
Yes.
I stopped looking at what everybody else was doing. And
Yes.
I started taking myself to the movies. For the first time I went to the movie, I'm sitting around and I'm laughing. I'm talking to the folks beside me. I don't care if they know I'm here by myself. I'm talking to somebody. If you talk to me, I'm going to talk to you.
Right.
To start taking myself out to dinner. But one of the things I started doing, I started putting my hands to the plow. Head down.
Yeah.
Focus on what it is that I've been called to do. That was the first time I've had somebody in my life since 13 years old. First child at 15 years old, raped and left for dead at 17, married for 18 years, got married at 22. There's always been a man in my life.
Wow.
Always. For the first time, I'm out here in these streets by myself and I'm trying to figure out, how do you do this by yourself?
But wait. What happened at 13?
15.
What?
So 13, I was dating. I had boyfriends.
Yeah.
So
But you had your first child at 15.
15.
You had your second child at how old?
22.
22. When you got divorced, how old were you?
39 or 40.
Okay.
40.
So 41, single by yourself.
In Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
Tell me what's going on in your mind.
I was watching Being Mary Jane and thinking until I realized the stats for HIV and AIDS in Atlanta was at the top 3. And I was like, get somewhere and sit down. That was my whole thought, just being really transparent. That was my whole thought. Like, okay, in church, serving, watching my ex go remarry, have another child. I'm like, what's wrong with me?
Wow.
What's wrong with me? And it was rough. Dated some people. I've had stalkers to con men. All of that.
Welcome to Atlanta.
Welcome to Atlanta. And this was before I got to Atlanta. Now, this is in Charlotte.
Wow.
Then came to Atlanta, and it was
home of the Nigerian scammer.
Oh, man. I didn't meet any of them. I stayed away. I stayed away. But it was just, for the single woman just thinking, Stop watching everybody. Social media does not tell you the truth.
Yes.
And people ask, well, you should share my whole social media team and my PR team. You should share more of your husband. No, I'm not. He doesn't want to be in the forefront. I'll show you enough to know that I got a man over here. I got a whole husband that over here kind of keep some of the other men out. But anyway,
Yes.
just to keep them off. But it's just enough. So many women want to put, oh, me and my man. But you got to you're lying in front of social media.
Right.
That's not really happening. When you get off, I can't stand you, you can't stand me, we're sleeping in separate beds. And I shared with Sean, my husband, I said, I do not want to be a fraud in front of the women that I serve, whether it's financially, spiritually, emotional, or relationally. I do not want to be a fraud, and I'm not. So you better keep it together because I will tell it all. Right? And I know that sounds like, well, why? I don't mean go out and tell my business, but I can't hide that. Like that is, for me, I don't know what it is. And I've been praying about it. It's like, Lord, that's what, when I was dating a pastor back in there, I'm like, well, tell you right now, you set me in the pulpit, you're doing something, they're going to see it on my face. So you might want to put me on the front so they can't see my face because I'm going to tell it. But it is just, and he understands that. And I'm so grateful for that relationship to know I don't want to be a fraud. I really want to have a great encore marriage. I want to say he's my best friend. He's a friend before I married him. I want you to be a friend. I love you, but I really do like you too, though.
No, that's great. How do you, with a full team that is around you, you are living out loud. How are you able to separate what you project for social media and reserve for who you are when it's not, the camera's not on?
I don't think I've learned that yet. I honestly don't think I've learned that. And that's why I'm it's not even cautious about what they see. I've been asked for reality, can we bring a camera in? Can we do that? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay, but this is what you're going to see. You're going to see him get up every single morning and bring me breakfast in bed every morning. Every morning.
Wow.
When he's sick. And I'm like, no, you don't have to. He's like, no, you got to eat because I know you're not going to eat. So he doesn't want me to be as small because you're working, you're not eating as much. So he makes sure of that. That was the blessing for him to be.
Wow.
I know I'm painting this picture. Now, he's not perfect, but he's perfect for me.
Listen, anybody bringing me a waffle and don't mind syrup on the duvet, bring them on.
Every morning. Babe, here's your breakfast. Did you eat? You're in the shower here. Here's your coffee. Every morning. And so it is more along the line of, what was the question again? I'm sorry. Go back to that one.
The question now is, how do you get somebody to bring you breakfast every day? That's the new question.
It's just an understanding. It's a trade-off. We never talked about it.
Yeah.
We never say, you do this, I do that. It just began to happen. I didn't even know when we were dating in the first 6 months that he could cook. I thought it was his mom. His mom had moved in because she was getting older and she was getting sick. I went over. He invited me over to meet his son, my bonus son now, and my mother-in-law, and I thought she cooked. And so we're sitting down at the dinner table. I said, oh, Mom, I called her Mom from the first time I met her. Yeah. Mom, this is good. She said, yeah, baby, Sean can throw down. What? Who cooked this?
Wow.
Sean cooked this. I said, what? Wait. He said, oh, man. I said, oh, you cook? Okay, I understand. But just going back, he's that guy that we look for. And just, you said, I think the question earlier was of being with someone that you're more in the forefront and he may not.
No, the original question 2 meals ago, the original question was how you able to separate your private life and being in front of the camera as you often are.
I haven't done it yet. I believe what you see is what you get. I'm not going to remember. I have a traumatic brain injury, by the way.
Yes.
And so I don't remember all of those things. You'll forget a lot, but the truth you'll remember per se. And so I don't try to hide anything.
Yes.
I pretty much put it out there. I remember someone said, well, you're saying this in public. I'm on major stages and TV interviews and all that. You would say that out there? Yeah. And when someone says, hey, Dr. Sonia, you said that. Yeah, I said it on episode this. I said it over here on Facebook. Oh, I was on DC. I was in here. I was in Tampa on this show and I talked about it. I'll remember the truth. Yeah. Because that's how my brain, when everything was taken away from me, and I'm not talking about just a divorce, when my memory and the things I dealt with in Iraq was taken away, he gave me something even more powerful. It is a gift of wisdom to do such a thing. It wasn't just my passion. I started working in my purpose and didn't know it was there until I started walking in my calling.
No, I love it. I saw this story the other day how LeBron James, when he was in middle school, used to be bullied.
The number one basketball player in the world. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes. He was bullied, and one person in the class stood up for him and protected him against the bullies. A few years ago, that friend lost everything, filed bankruptcy. LeBron James hired him as his personal security and pays him $1 million a year. He has no security background. None. The moment that he hired him, he did not even have a registered weapon in his name, but said, I've got to maintain this relationship because of where you stood with me when I didn't have any of it. Through how all of the ebbs and tides and flows of your life's twists and turns, how difficult or is it difficult for you to maintain friendships?
That is the most powerful question anybody's ever asked me.
Wow.
It is because it is the one that takes me to this emotional state. I have lost a lot of friends. From childhood friends, from ninth grade, we had children together. I'm saying, like, I was pregnant and she was pregnant right after that, to high school, college roommates that I'm no longer friends with.
Wow.
And simply because, and I've spoken about it publicly, it hurts a lot because you think, hey, let's go, we can do this. Yeah. Hey, I'm on a come up, I'm doing all this, let's go. But what I realized that what I believe my culture has not been taught is, how do you have people that are on the uprise, either for the person who's on the uprise or the people that are watching or being a part of it? How do you both handle the situation? Because it could be the part of you on the uprise and you want to bring people with you, and maybe you're going to heights and you have an oxygen mask on and they don't. Yes. They're going to run out of oxygen. Yeah. And I believe that's what happened for the most part. And then there's a side over here of, hey, don't let me put her in a bad situation where, well, I want to go and do something, but I can't afford it. I would go with you, but I know you got it. Those conversations, and I've heard those. If I got a quarter for every time I heard that, I would have made $100,000 already.
It is hard to be a skydiver with a crew that is afraid of heights.
Wow.
And a lot of times we try to drag people up to a level that they, quite frankly, are not interested in the pain of wanting people to go high when they're comfortable living low. So when you talk about it's lonely at the top, is not theory. That's a real place.
I know this is yours, but can you answer that question? Because when you said it, how has it been for you going through this process?
It is trauma. I don't have childhood trauma. I got adult trauma.
Yes.
My childhood was great. It was post-puberty that I found out, wow, people don't use deodorant. Yeah, I mean, people smell in a sweaty situation. And knowing that everybody's journey is different. Everybody's path is different. So we say things on social media, some relationships are for a season, a reason, for a lifetime. It's cute to post, but it's hard to digest. And so some friendships, or can I say for our context, some marriages are for a season.
Yes.
And it is it's okay to outgrow. The best example I have is milk is healthy until the expiration date.
Or you become lactose intolerant.
And it is so toxic that milk you can't throw away, you have to put in the drain.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So you throw it away, it's going to mess up the whole house.
I just saw that big, thick clunk.
Yes.
You left it in there. Oh,
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so being a friend of your dream. How to say, me and my dream are going to walk this out.
Absolutely. And even if I have to do it by myself.
Hey. And take that on with you.
Wow.
Yeah, that's serious and significant.
Yes, it is.
I want you to talk about parenting adult children.
You got all the.
Oh no!
I love these questions.
I'm in a different place. All of my girls now are in college. So the relationship, yes. So the relationship is completely different. You know what I mean? So for my daughter's asking me now, why you like this woman?
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm looking like, who do you think you talking to? Yeah, I mean, they ask me that, what's the colors for the wedding?
Yes. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Yes.
I saw that. I'm like,
Yes.
yes.
They asking me a dog question. Now, is she picking out our dress or can we pick out our own? And I realized I wasn't dealing with kids. I'm dealing with young adults.
It's young women.
Young women.
You can have them. I'll take the young men.
I trade you. No, they want something else.
No.
They want something altogether different. So tell me about the dynamics of how that shifts of adult children are your friends, but not. You can deal with them at a certain level, but then don't get too comfortable now. I'm still your mama.
I want to deal with different levels of this, if I may. Because my oldest son, we grew up together.
Wow.
So I'm 15 years older.
Yes.
He'll be 38 his birthday.
Yes.
So our relationship is totally different. And it is more of, there are times he gets put on block. Like literally block him on my phone. Because he will call with some shenanigans. And he'll call intoxicated. Like he'll call and he's like, hey, Mom, what's up with you? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, Lord, I'll try it. And then next thing I know, he is cussing and fussing. I'm like, babe, I got to let you go. And I'll hang up.
Yeah.
And then there are times he'll call. He's just cool and chill. And I had to deal with that. Many years ago, I had to give that one to God. And they said, I gave it to him.
Yeah.
I said, Lord, I can't. If not, I'm going to be heavily medicated because he's going to stress me out.
Yeah.
And I had to let go. I tell him, I love you, but I cannot handle the anxiety that it gave me was to no end, to where it put me in the hospital twice. And I said, I can't do this. And I've never shared that publicly.
Wow.
I can't. I cannot. He doesn't understand. You treat me like this. And I'm like, either I'm going to die wanting to what I see so many mothers and parents do because we want to make sure our kids know I love him. I say it. I try my very best to show it. But you're not going to take me to my grave.
Wow.
That's a decision that I made.
My sister's a therapist. She told me something years ago. 92% of our stress is not ours.
Exactly.
We stressed about somebody else.
Grown people.
And their stress is what's eating us alive.
It is. I sit and smile and I'm thinking, okay, when I leave, I'll text or I'll call him. And it's just, I love him, but I just can't at times. Mm-hmm. And then I have my middle son. He's the middle child. The middle child likes everything to be mellow, chill. Yes. They don't want no drama. Yes. They trying to be happy and everybody. And that in itself is a whole different story. Yeah. And especially when I was going through a divorce with their dad, it was a different story. And I had to learn, don't get them involved. And I didn't.
Right.
But I would see him try to balance that. I said, no young child should try to balance two parents. So let me just leave him out of that.
Yeah.
And so I'm closer to all of them, but he is the one who wants to talk to me the most. He is the one, ma. And
yes.
Everybody he's ever dated, they always knew they had to meet me. He said, Channing said he is not going any further until I meet the mom.
Yes.
I never said, hey, I don't like her. I never said anything. Now, he would know if I didn't say anything, it's not my choice, but I never said anything wrong. And he said, I knew you didn't say anything about her. It was out. But the last one, the one he's marrying now,
yes, he
approached me in a way, Mom, she's an entrepreneur. She's this. That he knew that was
selling it. Yeah.
Done. She is good. But he is just a different child. He will call. I've only seen him mad one time in 29 years.
Wow.
One time. And he was 38 hot. And I was like, calm down. I was like, I've never seen my child so upset, other than on the basketball court or the football field. But just in every day, something took place with he and his dad, and he was not happy with that.
Yeah.
So it is that personality, and then come the baby.
Yeah.
The baby got to see the Dr. Sonia evolve. The baby got to hear from his bedroom above my studio the affirmations that I was telling women, and I would walk upstairs and clean his room while he's at school, and I would see them written in his mirror.
Wow.
The baby became the public speaker because as soon as he could probably 10 or 12, I would put a ketchup bottle in his hand and say, tell me who you are, what's your name? And every adult who ever met him after that, it's like, he is so well spoken.
Yes.
I was like, I want to make sure you have great eye contact. You're shaking their hand. You are not like, I don't want to talk to anybody. We're not doing that.
Yes.
His personality is so like mine. It's not always a good thing.
Yes.
He's a loner. When he met his fiance now, he just go there and hey, sir, you know you got a mom over here. You going to call? You going to say, yes, ma'am, I'm sorry, I'm working. I'm caught up. So all these personalities. And then I get a bonus son.
Yes, yes, yes.
Who is so much like those last two. You cannot tell me I did not give birth to him.
Incredible.
I fell in love with him before I fell in love with his dad.
Wow.
And he was already in high school.
Wow.
And it probably because he lost his mom at a very young age. So I realized when I was dating, I was like, I always think about at some point, if they have children, God forbid something happens to the mother, guess who becomes the mother?
Yes.
Me. At least can I be a mother figure now? I don't want to force a relationship. I don't want them to call me anything that they don't want to call me.
Right.
I wanted a friendship, but at the same time, they knew that I'm still a parent.
Yes.
I'm still an adult. And so we have a different dynamic of a relationship, and it is just funny. I treat him just like I treat my sons. He's going to kill me for seeing, if he sees this, he had a young lady that he was seeing.
Yeah.
And she was over at the house or whatever the case may be. And I said, what are we doing?
You said to him or her?
Both of them. I was like,
Together.
what y'all doing? They went upstairs or whatever. He's going to kill me for this. But anyway, they went upstairs like, what y'all doing? What are we doing? Because are we together? Or we just sliding through? And because for me to say that, he was just kind of like, whoa. Sonia's like, look, I'm going to treat you like I treat my sons. You know, young lady coming over here, I'm going to treat you like you were if I had daughters, they get the same treatment.
Yes.
I'm looking at her. What are we doing? Are we dating or what are we doing? Because you're not going to be over here. I got 9 other bedrooms. Pick one. Pick one of them. Because if y'all just friends, but if y'all together, it's a little bit, and I know some church folks listening to this and goes, whatever. I understand these young people going to do a thing. If you're doing a thing, at least I know you're doing a thing with somebody you want to be with. And he's getting the glimpse of what is marriage, per se.
Yes.
Not saying he hasn't been around it, but he's seeing his bonus brothers get married.
Yes.
And so it's a different conversation. And so I just politely asked her, what are we doing? And then I asked him. And I got the biggest surprise I'd ever seen in my life. After I was done having the conversation that my heart is beating fast, probably offending both of them, he walked over to me and gave me the biggest hug. Not a side hug. It was a hug like, and he got I'm getting emotional thinking about it. At that moment, he knew that I loved him just as much as I love my own kids.
Wow.
And for him to know that and us to feel it in the moment, it was a game changer. I said, you're just like my blood. You don't get to do things just because you're a bonus child. I'm not going to say anything. I love you. I love you enough to tell you the truth. And I want to protect you from the young women out here that may see a thing around here and come to the house and think, I'm marrying into this. That's not what we're going to do around here. So I need them to know.
Not with 9 extra bedrooms. You're not doing that. I'm still there. I blacked out. I don't even remember nothing else. I want to thank you for inspiring me to dream to 9 other bedrooms, meaning it's 10. So thank you so very much for hanging out with me and stretching my faith. I got to ask y'all, what are we doing? If you are not following the Jamal Brown Podcast on YouTube, what are you really doing? I need you all to follow, like, and share these conversations. They happen every Thursday at 12 noon. I don't want you to miss any of them. Dr. Sonia, this has been one of the most exhilarating conversations. I mean, you are just a bowl of sugar. You got my adrenaline moving.
Thank you.
Thank you. You are exciting.
Thank you for
your spirit is infectious.
I think he's serious.
No, I am.
Really?
No, you're great. You glow in the dark. Your light is just natural. You got an amazing aura, and I don't just give that out.
Thank you.
I would, if I was 18, I'd join the military because of your witness and your testimony.
No, they ain't do all this.
Yeah, no. Listen, see what happens when you lose your memory and God give it back to you.
Exactly. Even more powerful than before.
Absolutely. So I hope you learned something. I hope that you've grown from it. I hope that you're better. And I am believing that God is going to do something for your personal life, your business life, and your love life because you stayed locked in to Let's Be Clear. I'll see you on next time. Thank you.